There are only days left for the Alabama Parole Board to meet Governor Ivey and Attorney General Steve Marshall's demands for a complete overhaul to the system. Marshall told the Way 31i team if the board doesn't have a sufficient plan, he and the governor will take whatever action is necessary. Families say the time is already here.
I expect to fight because I expect them to mess up again. This is their pattern.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Dan Schaefer. Way 31's Breck and Terry spoke with the AG to learn just how hard it is to remove sitting board members.
Parole board members are basically untouchable, and it would take starting an impeachment process or a court order to get them removed. Despite being appointed by the governor, she can't just fire them. Marshall tells me there are other options on the table.
I'm committed, I know the governor's committed, I see others, to make sure that there is a very specific and a very strong response, because the victims of Alabama deserve that, and that's what we're going to do.
But under Alabama law, AG Marshall and the governor are limited in what they can do to the parole board. One thing they can do is start an impeachment process of parole board members.
Absent the grounds for impeachment, parole board members can't be removed. And so that, I think, greatly limits the authority and the ability of not only the governor but the legislature to have oversight over that particular agency.
Alabama law also provides a second option. If the governor believes a board member is incapable of doing their job, she can request the attorney general to move forward with an inquisition. A circuit court judge in Montgomery could then rule a board member physically or mentally incompetent and deem the member's position vacant.
And so one of the things that I hope is that there'll be some structural changes that people can consider going forward about what we can do.
The Way 31i team began investigating the parole board after it paroled career criminal Jimmy Spencer. He was serving a life sentence and was disciplined dozens of times while in prison. He's now charged with killing 3 people after breaking terms of his parole several times between January and July.
I think the Spencer case highlights everything that is currently wrong with the current setup.
Attorney General Steve Marshall and Governor Ivey gave the parole board another 30 days to come up with a specific action plan after rejecting the members' original one. Our investigation uncovered Spencer wasn't an isolated incident. In some cases, inmates were coming up for parole on violent offenses such as murder before serving half of their sentence.
Singularly for me, something that is inexcusable for us in the state and for which there is great culpability when we see what we could have done within the system to make sure that that didn't happen.
Former parole board member Bobby Longshore says he doesn't believe board members have done anything to warrant removal, but told me there is a third option if the Attorney General and Governor want to remove parole board members.
The governor, as the appointing authority, could ask for their resignation.
The parole board has not made a statement in regards to the governor and attorney general's response to their first corrective action plan. The second plan will have to be approved by the governor and attorney general. In Lawrence County, Breck and Terry, Way 31 News.
The governor and attorney general didn't mince words in response to the parole board's first corrective action plan. In a harsh letter, Ivey and Marshall questioned the leadership of the parole board, how it makes decisions, how it created a plan for change, and why basic systems aren't already working. Here's what Governor Ivey said were the board's biggest weaknesses and the changes she wants to see in the next plan. She called for stronger leadership, respect for victims, correct information on parolees, and better supervision once they're released. Basically, she and the AG told the board to get its act together. It all comes after a series of Way 31i team reports that uncovered just how broken that current system is. Right now on WayTV.com, under the I-Team section, you can find all of our past reporting on the story, starting from the day we found out a parolee was a suspect in a triple homicide. It walks you through exactly how our I-Team was able to spark change in Montgomery.